pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk call roll, please?
Evans.
Here.
Moody. Here. Groton.
Here.
Knowles. Here. Rungy.
Here.
First item of business is the agenda approval. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
Second.
Motion by Grattan, second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Seeing none? All in affirmative?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved minutes of previous meetings. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Morose,
Second.
second by Foodie. Any further discussion on those? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved minutes of intervening meetings. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Morose, second by Grattan. Any further discussion on those? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comments regarding agenda items. Is there anybody here wishing to speak?
Mr. Mayor and members of the village, of the City Council, sorry. I never remember what unit of government I'm before. I'm Mark Hazelbaker, I'm an attorney. I'm here representing Glander Transit tonight. If I may, I'd like to speak for just a few minutes about a recent ordinance amendment that changed the Highway S to no longer allowing trucks. Is that permissible, Mr. Mayor?
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've talked to my client about this, and he's very concerned about it because the change is making a major inconvenience to his business. And I'm not sure that that was really considered. It strikes me that this is an instance where what might have been a bad process led to a bad policy decision. Now, bad process in the sense that I'm sure you followed the open meetings law and did everything above board, not suggesting anything else. But sometimes when you're taking a decision like this, it implicates interests that are such that you need to do, like with a comprehensive plan, try to involve a lot more people. This is a county highway. County highways exist to create connections between different parts of an area. They exist for the purpose of carrying heavy traffic, for promoting commerce. So if you're going to think about changing a county highway, which is by definition a truck route, okay, then you really need to get the people that need that as a truck route involved in the decision, and that just didn't happen here. Not because you didn't put it on the agenda, but the reality, I think you all know, is that many people don't live their lives checking the agenda every day, although we probably should, that being the way government works. So my client has a simple request, that you take this issue, you reconsider this issue, take a very deliberate look at all of the interests that are involved here, and try to come to a better result on it. Now, I understand you have concerns about the Walmart distribution center. Well, I can't do anything about that, okay? The fact of the matter is that we build roads to encourage economic growth, to encourage more truck traffic, to encourage traffic. I looked at the road, I drove it, I've driven it before many times. It's a good wide road, it's designed to handle this kind of traffic. Yes, truck traffic affects the people that live on the road. And all I can say is that it's unfortunate, but sometimes there are burdens that we have to bear in society when we choose to buy a house on a county road. So I respectfully ask, on behalf of my client, that the broader implications of this decision be given a more thorough examination and be changed. Thank you. And I'd answer questions if you had. I make these observations on the basis of 41 years as a municipal attorney. I've seen this before. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Daniel Ginsberg. I had appeared at one of your previous meetings here, and in regards to the closing of Center Street, which is part of County Road S. I know at that time I represented also the town of Oak Grove, and I kind of spoke for the farmers in the eastern part of the county. in regards to that road not being allowed to be used for, as a county road, and that would close it to truck traffic. I feel strongly that that this road is an essential part. I mentioned about it being probably the fourth or third main collector in the eastern part of the county as a traveled route. And I know when it comes to time-sensitive materials, Jordan from Northeast Asphalt can speak to that. Three quarters of the work that they did for the county this last year, in fact the last couple of years probably, it has in fact as recent as this last December, that they used that particular road to haul almost all the blacktop that goes to cover the roads that everybody uses. And I guess with that, Jordan can probably speak more for his company than I can in regards to where they've what all roads they've used. I know when you look at all the county roads that go in and out of Juneau here, I feel that it's too bad that being the community that Juneau is, that they would want to start closing these roads for the economic values that these roads bring to this community. So I also would like to say I'm a fairly good judge of roads. Jordan's probably better than I am at judging roads, but I know your particular end of Center Street there is not the best road to ride on. And just food for thought would be, have you guys ever thought about an intergovernmental agreement that would cost share for that particular end of the Center Street there, where a major part of the noise that one of your members is complaining about is because of the rough road. So I guess with that I'll end my presentation.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I don't want to speak for the group, but I think we would welcome that if we could share the costs. It's no secret, 2007, when the road was reconstructed, our utilities are holding up well underneath that road. We've had virtually no issues as far as, we do have a couple sections of oval pipe, which just tells me that being in the business, I understand this a little bit better than most, that the bedding was done properly, but the backfill was not done in lifts. In other words, they did not scoop it in there and pack it down in increments to get up. We got over 9 feet of cover on most of the utilities out there, so we haven't had an issue with those failing at all. But yeah, as far as the road reconstruction, it's definitely going to be probably $1 million plus by the time we get it on our budget to replace it. So we are very concerned about preserving what we've got right now. And when you and Mr. Glander met the last time, the posting of the road was put on hold, it was tabled. And I did reach out to Brian Fields of the Dodge County Highway Committee. I'm one of the alternates to preserving the road was slowing the traffic down coming into the town. Now, I guess the county does have authority to decrease the speed limit. Originally, I reached out to Dave Field to contact Brian, then Brian contacted me. I encouraged him to go all the way out the North Grove Road. That's a full half mile. So you'd have a de-acceleration distance to get from 55 down to 45 down to 25 into the community. And Brian was very helpful and very positive, and he's looking to put that on the agenda for the next county board meeting to be approved. They can do that without any state authority or any state involvement. They can do that on their own as a county. So I put that step in place right now, and that sounds like that will be a reality. I'm certainly positive that that's going to have some impact on noise and what have you. the road would be 20 years old come 2 years from now, which would probably be about the time we would have it in our replacement budget for a 5-year plan. And if there's anything we can get out of the townships or the county or whatever to assist us in the cost of beefing up that road, either thicker blacktop, I did ask our engineer, concrete is better than double per square yard than what asphalt is. So, you know, that would be another major cost if we wanted to go concrete. And our utility supervisor, as far as our underground water and sewer utilities, he would be very against that, because if we did have water main breaks, that would dramatically increase the cost, you know, going concrete or whatever. So we have explored it. I will admit that a lot of these things were overlooked before this thing got in motion. Dave Beal, our police chief, and also our county board member that represents Juneau, has been accosted by a few of the county board members about why is Juneau trying to be negative pro-business and what have you. He asked me to bring that to the board tonight. And I don't know, I've only got Mr. Glander in your spot reserved, but if there's no opposition, I'd gladly like to hear the gentleman from Northeast, if you want to add your...
Yeah, I guess just kind of piggybacking off what he said is, our position is
Please announce your...
I'm Jordan Vandezan with Northeast Asphalt, and like I said, just piggybacking off of what he had to say is basically, you know, trucking is a huge part of our costs. When we have to take certain detours, when we have to go around certain roads, especially being somewhat of a gateway to the east for us, being with our asphalt plant in Minnesota Junction there, obviously that increased costs for, you know, municipalities out to the east of here. It inconveniences us in many different ways. So it's just, you know, you kind of had alluded to everything I wanted to bring up, but just, you know, on our side of things, cost is, you know, like I said, trucking is a big cost of ours. So when we have to divert trucks to go a long way, it takes an extra 10 minutes. Well, that's 20 minutes around. We all know what trucking costs. So per ton, you're looking, you know, especially for the, like I said, the municipalities out that way that we service, it's an inconvenience for them as well. So, thank you.
I think we also heard that the alternate route through Horicon is not to the advantage of the trucking firm, I guess, for the
Correct.
downtown
Yep.
stop and goes and
Yep.
what have you. So I got to speak for the group there. There was never anybody's intention on this table to stifle business growth or what have you. Certainly, I'm going to admit that this committee overlooked a lot of this stuff, and we just didn't really understand all the players that come into play. And I can appreciate what you do, what Mr. Glander does. That's money out of your pocket, you know, if you got to go the other route. We do have a responsibility to our community to preserve our roads the best that we can. There will certainly be, as long as I got anything to say about it, there will certainly be some stringent rebuilding standards when we do put that road back together again in the future, that it's done right the first time. We just got a bad job. Probably the worst job of any road that I've been involved with. Prior to being mayor for the last 10 years, I was on the utility commission 26 years, 16 of them as president of the commission. So you know how hands-on I was about doing good utility work that would last. We were very aggressive in our replacement program throughout the years. And I'm proud of what we've done within the city here. And I certainly want to apologize to anybody that thinks that we were trying to stifle their business income or their growth in their businesses. So we've got a couple letters from entities that would of government that should probably be read at this time, because they too have been reached out to and question our logic on what we're trying to do here. So I guess at this time, Jane, you want to read the first
It
one?
looks like the first one
Would
is
be
the
the-
February 6th.
Correct.
So,
That would be after I reached out to Brian Fields about the speed reduction.
okay. And I assume Dan, it's yourself, Mayor Dan.
Yep.
Dave.
Dave
No.
would be police chief.
All right, just wanted to.
I guess we run it a little
Okay,
informal.
so to Mayor
between
Dan
them.
and Police Chief Dave Beal, we have considered your request for a reduced speed limit on County Highway S east of Juneau Assistant Commissioner Engineer Nathan Kemp is proposing the following recommendation. County Highway S is designated as a major collector by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation from State Highway 26 in Juneau to State Highway 67. The average daily traffic along County Highway S is 2,700 vehicles, including a continuous flow of trucks to from various developments in Dodge County and in the Juneau area itself. Currently, the posted speed limit, the speed on County Highway S is 55 miles per hour. At the eastern Juneau city limits, County Highway S becomes Center Street, and the posted speed drops to 25. This 30-mile-per-hour drop as posted speed has raised some concern within the city of Juneau as vehicles are still slowing down after they have already entered the city. Land use along this segment of County Highway S transitions from rural to urban. Driveway density is less than 200 feet starting just outside the city limit. There is a safety concern for vehicles exiting driveways in an area where traffic from County Highway S is still slowing from 55 miles per hour. Pedestrians also regularly utilize the sidewalk along Center Street. It is more appropriate and safer for all traffic to keep the speed transition on County Highway S outside the densely spaced driveways. Therefore, it is a recommendation of the Dodge County Highway Department to post a 45-mile-per-hour sign for westbound traffic at the intersection of County Highway S and North Grove Road, approximately half-mile outside the city limits. A reduced speed limit ahead sign would also be posted 500 feet in advance of the 45-mile-per-hour sign. The county does have the authority to change the posted speed limit to 45 miles per hour as stated in the Wisconsin State Statute, Section 349.11.1, sub 1, sub A. Considering this information, I feel the recommendation should be brought before the Dodge County Highway Committee for approval and referral to the county board for adoption and implementation. The speed reduction may improve the safety concerns in this area to the degree that the recently adopted weight restriction on East Center Street could be reconsidered. This weight restriction seriously compromises the functionality of a major collector county highway which connects two state trunk highways. Dodge County businesses and residents rely on the functionality of the county highway system to conduct business by staying connected to the highway network in a practical and reliable manner. I will have this item on the March 11th Highway Committee agenda for their consideration. Please contact me if you have any questions or concerns for this proposed action. And then we have another letter here addressed to the Mayor, Dan Wagner, February 10th. Dear Mayor Wagner and City Council members, I am concerned with the consequences of the recent action by the City Juneau Council restricting weight limits on traffic on East Center Street, North Main Street to East City limits. This city street is a continuation of Dodge County Trunk Highway S to Highway 67. This highway has been classified by Wisconsin DOT as a major collector. This section of County Highway S is vital to many businesses and residents conducting businesses in the city of Juneau and neighboring cities, towns, and villages, as it connects two state highways. Restricting the allowable weight limit seriously compromises the functionality of this major collector route, consequently resulting in a negative impact to all agencies relying on this route to transport raw materials to their facility and finished products to their markets and end users. These businesses employ many local residents and consequently have economic impact on the city of Juneau and neighboring communities. This weight restriction is detrimental to the desire to attract and retain business, jobs, and related revenues. I request the City Council reconsider this recently passed weight restriction and consider alternate options to address the concerns on East Center Street. I and my staff are available to discuss options with the appropriate city staff at your request. Thank you for your consideration of this matter from the Brian Field, the Dodge County Highway Commissioner.
And we have a third one from the town of Oak Grove.
I have another one. Dear City of Juneau Council representatives, the town of Oak Grove Board became aware of the possible addition of a weight limit restriction to East Center Street. The town board met on 2/10/25 to discuss the topic and is writing in opposition to the possible weight restriction changes you may be considering in the City of Juneau. The reason for this opposition include the following. Creating a weight restriction on East Center Street will form altering roads to our township roads. Altering routes will create unnecessary traffic to our township roads where we have inadequate road bases to adequately support such traffic. Increased traffic would also impact our township roads that are currently under a DOT inspected speed limit change, i.e. St. Helena. Creating altering routes could also potentially create a risk to traffic as some of these routes have strong S-curves and do not impose a safe line of travel, especially for truck and trailer traffic. In addition to the impact this may have on our township, we also feel that this could have a negative impact on your commercial businesses, which operate in your city, that depend on trucking to their locations. We appreciate you taking the time to take our concerns into consideration. Our aim is that you take the above information into thoughtful consideration before making a final decision. Jeff Pitslin, Town of Oak Grove.
Just so you're aware, this is not an actual item tonight. It was not part of our formal agenda, but when these came in, I offered you the opportunity to appear and voice your opposition against your opinion.
Will this matter be taken up at another meeting?
Correct.
My name is Stuart Blander. I'm one of the taxpayers on a couple business entities in town here. I own Glander Transit with the trucks and mini storage properties down in the industrial park. I was unaware of this even being brought up when it was proposed or until it was actually put into an ordinance. This straight out directly affects my business because we start on the west side of town and most of our loadouts are out in Washington County on the east, so we go through town and take Highway S out. By imposing this is going to increase my hours of service on the trucks, my costs. So we'll have to obviously go up through, excuse me, through Horicon, which everybody knows in the morning with the trains, stuff like that, depending upon when we come back through. In the afternoon, the same thing. We're going to have extended times on the trucks, on the drivers, extra costs, stuff like that there. So that's my first concern, obviously, is with that being one of the biggest ones. I think as, obviously, like I said, a taxpayer in town here, I think this could have been maybe handled a little bit differently. I think we could have, I myself have seen multiple trucks coming through town. I think we could probably slow this down. You know, the speed is going to be one. A little more patrol out there possibly. I talked to Mr. Bill myself in addition to that too there. So by slowing traffic down, maybe writing out a couple of tickets or handing out some warnings, that might get back out to where you guys feel the problem child is coming from. Mr. Runge and myself have gotten into a couple of heated discussions at Public Works and Department, you know, DPW. I do feel that this vote was maybe not done 100% correctly. Well, Jim, I mean, you can shake your head, but if you introduce an ordinance and you have a personal gain to get out of it, you're to abstain from the vote, and you did not, correct? And you have a personal gain because you've openly said in the last 2 meetings that I've attended that your personal gain was to get rid of the Menards traffic in front of your house. You can say it was to help save the street, that's fine, but your personal gain into this was to get rid of the traffic, and you've been open and boisterous about that. So with that being said, under the code of ethics, you are to abstain from that vote, and you did not. So, well, you can shake your head all you want, but that's exactly what happened here. By doing this, I think maybe there's one other thing that we didn't, as the council, you're setting a precedence with this. Once you go and do this on one street, and when we used to haul for Lycon Concrete over to Beaver Dam, we would come up out of North Lake, and then we would take Highway 60 across the DJ into town, cut across on 26 down to Western, and cut across W and go out. Last summer, we had a couple calls from a lady that lives on Highway DJ in regards to truck speed coming into town. She thought they were my trucks, they weren't, they were another company's haulers, complaining about the speed. So when you set a precedence like this here, you're gonna change the way this lady has an opportunity at that point then, by doing what you just did, she can come into a council meeting and say, hey, we have a lot of truck traffic coming in here. We want the same thing you did on Center to be done on DJ. And realistically, if she has a legitimate complaint, in a way, I don't feel legally you can say no. Because you're basically doing it because one person brought this ordinance up and that's what his gain is off of it. So by doing that, I think you're gonna open up Pandora's box there by allowing all these other routes that come into town, whether it be DJ or W or any of the other ones that could possibly have a complaint, and this would be their way to get rid of the truck traffic. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you may only have one road coming in and out, Highway 26. So that's one thing to take into consideration. One other thing that I did talk to, I stopped at the Dollar General, I talked to the manager down there. Many of these trucks that come in from Menards, whether they're coming in or leaving, stop at the Dollar General. They spend money there. They're spending money in your town. They're spending money in a local business. With this ordinance, they're not going to be coming into town, so indirectly, you're kind of taking business away from them. You know, it's going to be costing me more money. We use this route for aggregate delivery, egg lime deliveries, multiple things like that there. So we have that there. Unfortunately, there's not a member from the United Co-op that's here. He's been at the last two, or there's been a representative here. You know, they have a fueling station out here you guys are aware of. With that being said, you know, their trucks going to the fueling island to reload is one thing, but their third-party transports to bring the stuff in, you know, that's another situation that you have right there. If you post this road and you follow to the letter of the way the laws typically are written on weight-restricted roads, in order to access that fueling station, whether it be a United Co-op truck or a third-party transport bringing fuel into there, they have to go a short distance. So now everything going to go into that transport is going to have to come around Highway 26, and they're going to have to go down 26 to S and then S down to there, versus before when they could come in from the other side of town. So you're going to make that, you know, an extra inconvenience for them. So I mean so you know, when they take fuel out, that's home heating oil also. So that's going to increase their costs. So that's something else to take into consideration with that there. In addition to the extra time alone, again, on trucks, because as we all know, trucks are regulated by hours of service. So some of these transport companies that are maybe bringing fuel in here are on a limited time to begin with. One of the ideas that we proposed, and I think it was the public safety meeting, was given a letter of exemption to businesses like myself or maybe United Co-op, which would be fine. I mean, I'm not against that, but the only problem with that is you're going to have to keep that letter in all the trucks if you guys would be willing to do that, which is, you know, like I said, I'm okay with it. But it still opens the door up for a county DOT officer that understands the laws. He could stop the trucks, which is more time on the side of the road. A state patrol officer, he could stop the trucks, you know, until you present this letter and say, hey, we're exempt because we're in town, we have a shop in town or whatnot. Same thing with United Co-op. But that's another point, as they brought up at the one meeting. If you get stopped, they're going to try to find, you know, a law enforcement agent will try to find something to justify his time for making you sit on the side of the road. So that's another thing that I don't think was taken into consideration. So that's pretty much what I have. I appreciate your time and taking a chance to listen to me.
Well, like I said, this isn't an item that we're going to take agenda on, or this isn't an item on our agenda that we're going to take action on tonight. It has been sent back to the committee or tabled at the committee level. I guess I'd ask the city attorney. Obviously, we have an ordinance in place. I did have a town of Grove official wanting to know who spoke to who about that at the state level. So I guess I do have an obligation to turn over a name on who the contact was there. But I guess I'm asking, we did pass the city ordinance affecting this, but enacting this. But if we don't post the road, it can't be enforced.
Right. I wouldn't post the road. The second thing is, at your next available meeting, you need to take it up. I think
all the people here tonight have made some excellent comments, and I would urge you to take those heavily into consideration, but you cannot take action unfortunately on it tonight. It's not on your agenda,
Correct.
so it needs to be the next meeting. But I wouldn't post it in the meantime and then deal with it at your next meeting.
Would just leaving the ordinance lie and not post it so it can't be enforced, or do we have to rescind the
I would
ordinance?
rescind.
What's that?
Would we have to rescind, or would rescind the ordinance, or just not, just not post it?
You have to ultimately rescind the ordinance.
But I think we have to meet, and that should be through public safety,
Correct.
to review, possibly rescind ordinance.
Public work.
And I think that's,
And say, but in the meantime, don't post it.
That's where we're at right now. That's where we tabled it, that it would be posted.
so should this be public works and then public safety? Or what's the order do you recommend?
Came out of Public Works initially.
It did.
Yes.
Then public works and public safety.
Both.
Right. And then get it to the council as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for coming tonight. We
Thank you.
appreciate your
Thank you
input.
very much, Mayor and members.
When is that next, those next two meetings? Have you set a date on them already or not?
Oh,
They do have set
Last
dates.
Wednesday? Second
If I have a
Wednesday,
calendar in front of me, I can
second
tell.
Wednesday from the back of the month.
Well, right
How many
there.
how many Wednesdays do we have?
Could you turn
Okay.
around and
Okay.
tell us what the
We'll give you-
public works?
Thank you.
We'll make sure you know.
Thank you.
Matt?
We're good.
Megan, they all have their contact information?
Yep.
Wednesday the 19th,
Wednesday the 19th,
Is,
Public Works.
Public Works.
It's a week ahead of time.
Great.
Okay. Moving on, we've got communications, we covered all of those. Paul Morose did not appear before the Plan Commission, so that's going to be tabled to this next month. Next, we have approved payments of bills, checks for $1,729,125,074, electronic transfers of $380,051.08. Is there a motion to approve the payment of bills as posted?
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Grattan, is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Second by Foodie. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Grattan,
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Burrows,
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Reports of officials, Mayor, I have nothing to report. Clerk Treasurer, you have anything to report?
No, just, next week we have the audit, Monday through Wednesday, and Tuesday we have the election. So if you need anything, contact us later in the week, please.
Written reports, any questions on the building permits or the police department report or the Juneau Fire and Rescue or the Juneau EMS report? Seeing none, reports, committees, commissions, and boards. We have our library director, Connie.
Hello. Brought a February, March calendar for you all to take a look at. I am also in the process of compiling an annual report for the state. Nothing like a city audit, but it's still throwing a lot of numbers around. All that done by the end of the month. We are also looking to focus on a lot of community engagement and community partnerships for our February, March programs. We have some things going on with the Master Gardeners of Dodge County. We're going to collaborate with some activities at the Read Across America Day at Dodgeland. We're doing helping host a community CPR class training with VMS in town, and then we also have a local author. She wrote a children's book. She's a local Juneau resident, and we're going to have her come in and talk to our kids group about her process and her book. So we're trying to bring the community in and get the library out of the building. So yeah.
Who's the local?
Liz Pickert, she wrote a middle grade book under a pen name E.C. Quinn, and she'll be coming in and talking to the kids in March.
Is that William Pickett's, right?
Yeah, and her kids went to Dodge, and she's got one left there, I think. Yeah. So, yep.
Any questions for Connie?
And trying to get this window project off my plate. So, okay.
Plan Commission, David.
we did meet. First on the agenda was Paul Rose, and he didn't show up for that, to talk about the story walk that the library
He's very
wants.
sorry about that,
Yeah.
Dave. He really is apologetic that
Yeah,
it just
he saw me
slipped his mind
apologize.
and,
He was enlightened on something else. Anyhow, then Mr. Tony Hazy came in and talked to the committee about purchase. He wants to purchase the old insurance building on West North Street and create 8 to 10 apartments on the upstairs portion of it. And he asked questions of the committee what he needed to do to proceed with that. And hopefully we hear from him next month. Then we reviewed and discussed plans for a parcel in town. They wanted to put in several 8-unit apartment houses down by the old track and field from the school. We encouraged them that they put garage stalls up, at least one for every one. The other car can sit outside. Unfortunately, the financing arrangements they were trying to make, they had already done those arrangements twice with the government, so they can't do it a third time. So we're hoping for spring. Is that they may still be interested. Their studies showed that Juneau was definitely a place that needs more living quarters. So hopefully that can happen. We had a letter of intent for a parcel outside of town, inside our 2-mile extraterritorial zoning. They were separating the buildings from the farmland, so the farmland could be sold off, the buildings could be sold off. And that was about all.
Any questions for Dave?
Yeah, Dave, Land Commission, what would that increase our amount of multifamily units if we, the place down by the track? That's a lot of apartment, that's, quite a bit. And, is that gonna keep us within that 30%, which is kind of like the max standard for multifamily housing in a city of this size especially?
Well, according to their diggings and looking at it, the city would sure need the shot in the arm for it. But you've got Whisker that's looking for more employees. Sentient is looking for more. Last Floss added on, I don't remember how many square feet, a huge chunk onto their building. All looking for employees to fill those spots, so it'd be nice if they'd live in our community.
They scoured our ordinances pretty cool, so they know pretty much what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. They knew about how they had to get a conditional use permit to go from 4 units to 8 units.
Right.
So they were.
Well, I understand it,
They're
they're investors, they're gonna do everything they can to convince everybody here.
And this was affordable housing, so they were using the WIDA. What the program that the county was using. It's not government assisted.
Right.
It's established rents. Their rents were even projected to be higher than the ones where that Sunset View was and what have you. And they were speculating currently it would add about $245,000 worth of tax base to the city of Juneau if they went with all 5, 8 units. But yeah, we questioned them pretty hard on all that, but they seem to have a reputable track record. They hang on to the buildings. They don't just market them a year after they sell them or after they build them. They hang on to them for 10, 12 years, and what have you. So they probably didn't allude quite right. They had applied in 2 other communities that they were accepted, and they're only able to go to the trough 2 times in a given year. They can't go 3 times, so that's why they rejected So.
I guess my suggestion would be, and I know nobody likes it, but we should look at someplace that has a city planner or talking to somebody, because what we're talking about here You know, I'm from the Milwaukee area. I've seen that kind of development go south more times than I can count.
I think you're probably right.
And we need somebody who's a professional that said, you know, where are we matching up? And we used to have somebody years ago, but how are we matching up? You know, I know the city of municipalities or whatever, the magazine that everybody gets here.
Right,
because,
right.
Yeah, you know, they don't expect more than you had to have 30% in the city
Sure.
for multifamily housing, and we
Yep.
got quite a bit already.
That could be a question for, you know, maybe our assessor, if you want to reach out to them directly. But I mean, at this point, there's nothing,
We always used to
there's
use
nothing
Van
happening
Wall
at
and
this time.
Associates. But that got to be so doggone expensive, and
Yeah.
we're during an era where there was no building going on at
Well,
all.
yeah, but now it is.
The housing
And-
shortage has really changed the perspective on all of that right now, and everybody's reaching out any opportunity they can get to have builders come in and do something for them, because I think the American dream of buying or building a home these days has kind of slid by the wayside, and I think nice apartment complexes are probably what most communities are leaning towards. But I don't know what our ratio, our allowable ratio is. I know what you're asking, Jim, and I can't tell you that off my cuff, but we would certainly be looking into it. And I'm assuming these people did, because they seem to know all the demographics of our city. From every question we threw at them, they seem to have an answer.
And in all honesty, if this, you know, we get too much of this and it starts going south, it's gonna be at about a time when, well, I know I probably ain't gonna be here. I'll probably be in the cemetery taking up a plot. You know, but that event eventually is what happens.
Sure.
It's inevitable. And it's, you know, and I just don't wanna see it happen to the city of Juneau 20 years from now. And we're all sitting, you know, who's ever sitting here, not, I'm sure it ain't gonna be me. And probably most of us.
I've always promoted
Yeah.
cautious growth. You don't
Yeah.
want to be, you know, and
Yeah.
we've taken them to the task on other builders that came into town. And of course, they were all looking for handouts. They wanted the city to subsidize a good share of it or give them a tax break for 10 years or something like that. So, you know, these guys were, I felt pretty good about them. At first, when I was conversing with them, I kind of wasn't so sure, but after meeting with them face to face and hearing their track record, and there's a hell of a capital outlay when you're looking at a raw piece of land where roads, water, and sewer and everything, you know, they got a hell of an investment before they start putting up the first building.
Right.
So, you know, so I felt good about them. I hope we might be able to do business with them in the future, but that will be a demographic we'll have to look at.
Yeah, that's just something, you know, we have to make, you know, I guess we have to make sure.
Cautious growth is what we want.
Yeah.
So I think I've read Watertown's mayor talking about that.
Same issue.
Same issue.
Yeah.
They don't think
And
they're.
the fact
They're
that-
getting a lot of apartment housing there.
Right, but, you know, if the thing in Beaver Dam takes off like it's supposed to,
Generac?
yeah, that and the AI thing,
Yeah.
you know, you're talking, you're gonna have a lot of people here, and these guys are gonna be demanding a lot from us, even if they're building, you know, these guys, they're not here to, you know, they're there to make a lot of money off of us too. And we have to make sure that we're doing it right.
Sure. Anything else for Dave tonight? Seeing none, moving on, finance. Richard?
We had a quick meeting just before this meeting, and we talked about a couple things. We talked about the windows on the library. We had originally added a replacement for the windows of the library on our capital requests, and the original price was $97,560, and that isn't enough money to replace the windows. So we got some new quotes, and we looked them over, and we chose one, and I'll be amending the resolution and asking for approval. The other thing we talked about was the wage scale for the recreation department officials. Currently, the officials are listed on our wage scale, and they get $20 for an official, and a certified official gets $25. We're looking to bump that up. So I have a couple resolutions that the council can consider. Resolution 23, 2024 amended. Approve capital requests using the 2024 general obligation debt funds. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed quotes for each department's capital request, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends approving the following requests, everything stays the same except for library window replacement will be $161,589.77. And whereas the Finance Committee recommends using the 2024 general obligation debt funds towards the approved listed items, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 11th day of February 2025. I move for passage of Resolution 23-2024 amended.
Second.
Motion by Evans, second by Foodie. Any further discussion?
What was the new proposal gonna be? How much?
Okay, the
$10 per
original,
position.
the original was $97,560.
Okay.
The new is $161,589.77, so it's an increase of $64,000.
It's actually more than that because when I calculated it, I calculated off of 97,000 even, is what I thought the original the monies was. Let's just go with the new amount as 161,589 opposed to 97,560.
Okay. And that's for a Pella window, 6 light, I don't know what that means, sash set, double pane, no shades, stained wood trim, tempered glass. And the quote is from AM Construction Company out of West Bend.
Quote number 2B. And another thing that they discussed too that maybe people here aren't aware of is that the direct set would match the current, but then there is in the quote 2B, the sash set, and what the advantage to that is if like one goes out, you don't have to replace the whole set. You can replace that one window. And didn't you say something about?
Actually gives you a better R factor too, because you get gap around, I think it's an insulation factor.
So there are two huge advantages to that.
Oh, the insulation, so I'm sure they told her that because she.
The wind
chimed
can go
in
through the
and they
walls,
told
but
us
it
that.
won't go through those windows.
These would just
We'll go through that
replace
gap.
the large windows. We're not talking about the smaller upper windows,
I
correct?
think it does.
That
It says
number
all
would
windows.
include the uppers.
That one includes
Yeah,
It says
the
all
yeah,
windows.
Yeah, so
That
it would
includes
be
the upper windows
all the
also.
windows in the library except the entryway,
Okay.
so.
You're supposed 2x4s and Blandex to cover them all up, wouldn't you?
We talked about the hair
A
dryer.
lot of 2x4s.
And how long is the lifetime warranty on these Pella
She's
windows?
not-
I'm gonna check.
It's not-
We're
I'm
gonna find out.
check.
I would,
Yeah.
I would advise the committee to approve this subject to.
I do know that Pella's warranty, these would be a Pella window, isn't what it used to be, but I still think it's substantial, I just don't have a number. So,
I guess you can approve it subject to warranty.
It has to be, yeah, I mean, if,
It's sad. I can't believe that you market a product with a lifetime warranty, and when it gets to be 20 years, well, that's the end of the warranty. You know?
But really, what is, I mean, you're contingent on a warranty, I mean, the
Well,
windows
she
need to
didn't
be
have what.
replaced.
Well, maybe you don't have. I kind of have.
I mean, what are you really, what are you gonna do? You know?
I'd kind of like to know
Connie
what the
came in the
warranty
middle
is.
of
Oh, I mean, yeah, I agree, but I mean,
I guess if you want to put a contingency of 20 years as a warranty, that's all we got out of the last ones.
well, what does it say on this one? For warranty?
There is no warranty on
doesn't.
any of these that it says.
Connie didn't know what it was, so.
I did not get that information, Jim.
I
But
mean,
if
there were a
it's-
lot of things thrown at Connie, and I'm sure she just
Oh, yeah.
didn't think to ask.
If it's not 20 years, then does it come back to the council and we delay it another
Right.
month and then they might not hold
the
to
quote's
the
gone.
bid?
but that's, I don't think the warranty is dependent on the contractor either, so I mean, that's why I'm kind of asking, you're gonna make it
Do
contingent
you have
on
an
a
extra one of
warranty.
these, Megan?
What are we, what?
An extra copy of the.
I do not have one with me, no.
I guess,
Maybe I did. Yes, I did.
I have one
guess
that's
we-
scribbled on.
in my
Oh, yeah.
opinion, we just sit on this until we know if we got a warranty or not. If we have no warranty here, what are we gonna do in 5
Let's
years?
just bring it to a vote.
Okay.
So,
That might be a-
Jim,
Yeah, I
it
think we should have a
is,
motion
it
and
is a
second.
Pella
Yeah.
window, so there is a warranty. I just don't have
Okay.
the 20-page document of what it is.
Okay, there's a motion and second to approve the quote from
Alright.
AM, A and M.
Evans,
AM Construction.
Aye.
Booty,
Aye.
Groton,
Aye.
Burrows,
Aye.
Rungy.
No. Can't do it.
Okay.
Resolution
23.
23, 2024 is approved.
Did Jim vote?
Yes.
Yes, you voted no.
Hopefully, we won't have to amend that thing again.
I know.
Knock on your wood.
colorful.
Okay, the next one is the resolution concerning the payment of officials. Right? Yeah.
46.
Another amended one. Resolution 46-2024, approved city wage scale amended, whereas the city personnel and finance committees have reviewed and updated wage scale as shown in Exhibit A. And whereas the city personnel and finance committees have recommended the approval of the updated wage scale. And whereas the attached wage scale is hereby made effective January 1st, 2025 upon recommendation of the city personnel and finance committees. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 11th day of February 2025. And this doesn't really show, Exhibit A doesn't show the new amounts.
Right, because we didn't have that determined yet. So you can just add on there.
So the new amounts will be where it says, on the second page, where it says casual or seasonal employees, officials will be $25 per game, and officials certified will be $35 per game.
I will second your motion.
I haven't made the
Orange
motion.
Lily.
I would move to pass resolution 46-2024.
Okay, second.
Motion by Evans, second by Foote. Any further discussion on that?
You know, I'm fine with that motion, it's just that it didn't go through personnel. I mean, that wasn't, we didn't have that agenda, but I'm fine with finance and the body here approving it.
Well, you kind of made that decision in the field, did you not?
The rec committee made it.
Okay.
Right, but that's an amended agenda from the city wage scale originally, so.
I mean, I would like to just amend the current resolution just to remove personnel. But that, otherwise, it's not really a truthful resolution.
So we can proceed with removing personnel and having it come from finance.
Yeah, I think
So
that's fine.
we can do a vote on that then.
You want to make your, you're going to have to amend your motion, Richard.
But if I do that, we're talking about the whole wage scale.
Yeah.
We're not talking about just those two items. So the city personnel committee did approve the rest of the wage scale.
Right.
Initially.
Well, then, well, all I can say is, okay, I never put this on the personnel to change it, so I don't know, I don't know where to go from that. I'm just letting you know that that was not an agenda on the personnel.
And we're approving the updated.
So I guess what we'll do then is it'll have to come back from original committee, right? Or, because we tried to squeeze it in on finance, so this could pass for the officials that haven't gotten paid due to an inaccurate wage scale for officials. So we can either remove this from the agenda, or they'll have to wait another month to be paid.
Well, it does say the updated wage scale, so we could just say, we could
Take out
eliminate
personnel.
the city personnel.
Because we were just approving the updated portion.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, you want to make that an amendment?
I'll read it again.
You're going to have to amend your previous motion.
Okay, I would move that we pass resolution 46-2024, deleting the words city personnel and from the various places where it's listed.
The second is amendment.
Okay.
Everybody understand?
Yep.
Motion by Evans, second by Fode to amend resolution 46-2024 to remove city personnel from that amended agenda, or amended wage sheet. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Evans.
Aye.
Fode.
Aye.
Groton.
Aye.
Merles.
Aye.
Rungy.
Aye.
Resolution 46-2024 is approved as amended. Anything else, Richard?
That is all that finance has.
Okay, moving on, personnel, okay?
We had a joint meeting with the utility, and we did talk about the October 11 letter from the city to our rec director. And of course, my concern is that now he's an hourly employee with different rules than any other hourly employee, that either we encompass these new rules to the personnel, or my suggestion was to retract that letter so that he would go back to exempt, so that we wouldn't have to deal with the overtime issue, since the Department of Labor no longer has a minimum standard. However, that was defeated, and so the discussion included that the letter was specifically for Jacob, not for the position, and that he still is, that the position is hourly. And I would say that personally I'm still confused at what his overtime rule, or the person's overtime rules are. But my motion was defeated. Mac Affelt reported that the Utility Commission is still waiting for a legal opinion regarding the section 201 in the personnel policy about the overtime that the wastewater staff have to put in on the weekends. Then no action was taken. There was item on employee bonuses, no action was taken on that. Then we talked about time clocks, as that is an issue that has come up from the utility members. I had shared the time clock issue with the department heads. They all were of the position that they didn't see the need for time clocks, and that the personnel policy has the tools necessary to deal with any tardy staff under the discipline that they can exercise. However, it seemed to me that the utility members were still interested in it, and they were going to take it back to the Utility Commission. Jim Runge was in contact with somebody from Dodgeland, and if we can get anybody interested in taking minutes, great, because I see I have a typo, several of them. And then we went into a closed session, and the conclusion of an evaluation that was done for an employee for fit for duty was shared, and we talked about the next processes in that situation. And we Also cleared up that the rec director position would be posted and advertised. And there are no resolutions.
Any other questions for, okay, nothing else to report?
No.
Thank you, moving on. We have public safety, Jane.
Public safety did meet, and we heard from concerned citizens, Stuart Glander, and from Glander Transit, and Brad Pecora from United Co-op, if I pronounced that correctly. And we have new 2025 EMS officers. They are as follows: Dan Zank, coordinator; Nathan Zank, assistant coordinator; Dan Toll, secretary treasurer; and Brittany Borcher, training officer. Fire department opened up contracts with Town of Oak Grove and Town of Hubbard. We reviewed that. And we took action. Yes, we took action on 2025 fire officers, and new officers were Sierra Skalma, lieutenant; Jenny Coombs, safety officer; Nate Zank, trustee; and Aaron Schuster, trustee. And Dave Beal reported that the police department has 2 conditional offers that they put out there, and we have a resolution to approve a smoke shop. So I have resolution 61, 2024, approve cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device retail license for Main Street Smoke Shop. Whereas the city of Juneau has received an application from Relentless Vapor to sell cigarettes, tobacco, and electronic vaping devices with a period ending June 30th, 2025, as shown below. Cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device, Main Street Smoke Shop at 140 East Oak Street, Juneau, Wisconsin, 53039. The agent is Hassan El Zorfri. Agent address is 935 Horicon Street, Mayville, Wisconsin, 53050. Whereas the Public Safety Committee and the Juneau Police Department have reviewed the above and both recommend approval of this application pending compliance with Ordinance 904-200. And now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation. I recommend to approve Resolution 61, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Rungy. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Foodie,
Aye.
Rungy,
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Bratton,
Aye.
Burrows.
Aye.
Resolution 61, 2024 is passed. Nothing else, Jane?
I have nothing else. Thank you.
Public Works.
Public Works, we did meet, and one of the things we discussed, the limits on Dodge County Highway S, and I will apologize for our committee for not consulting with people we should have done. Hindsight is always easy when you try to straighten something out, but we will come to hopefully a good conclusion to this difficult situation that got created. We looked at the Wild Goose Estates and approved to have Excel Engineering assist us with information as to how we can correct the water issues in that area. We are looking at renovating the main entrance to the community center. The center post is too small to accept the new locking mechanism that we need on the door, because it's all single pane glass, where the new windows styles are double or triple pane. So we're looking at different ideas on different ways to do that, and one of them was to replace the doors in glass in there and change the knee wall. So we're looking at that, and we'll know more as we get results back. We purchased the plow from the utilities, the DPW did. The plow that they used on their skid loader, on their new skid loader, was too narrow, so we bought it, which worked fine on ours, and they purchased a different one for theirs. That was our business, our meeting.
Any questions for Dave? cable TV.
Cable TV from January 13th, we just reviewed and discussed the option of starting to use our owls, so we're in the middle of that. And that was our meeting.
Any questions for Jane? CDA, we did not have a meeting. Recreation, okay.
We did meet. Kevin Klinker from the soccer subcommittee expressed to the committee that he felt there was misinformation regarding Jacob, our most recent recreation director. He shared that his experience with Jacob was very positive and that he felt that he had moved the department in a positive direction. He also asked who was going to be the contact person for issues regarding the upcoming spring soccer program. Didn't really have an answer for that. And I did ask the committee about if any of them were interested in investigating the possibility of contracting with the Dodge County YMCA. The community members on the board did not feel that they were in any position to represent the city. But they did feel that whoever is going to investigate this possibility, they felt that the recreation director's job should be full-time, and they would like to see the job description that was passed by the rec committee be used as a guide for what we would expect in a contracted position. So some of this is no longer relevant, and there was this email regarding concession money. The Recreation Committee, a number of months ago, wanted to use concession money to help offset the increased cost of the officials. It was kind of a miscommunication as to how to do that. So even though the minutes talk about establishing a contingency fund, I'm going to take that back to the Recreation Committee to see if we can figure out how it is that we might take some of our concession money and help offset the increased cost of officials. And I think that was about it.
Any questions for Kay? Moving on, utility commissioner report.
All right, we met last week. We first of all had a discussion about the poor phone service that the utility department is experiencing lately. Apparently it's citywide. So it was the first I heard about it last Monday, but there is a problem with the phone service contract. I'm not exactly sure how.
I'm not sure exactly. I think, well, we contract through Javis, so we're working on issues with them.
Drop calls.
Yep.
That kind of stuff.
Staticky, not able to transfer between buildings, so.
So the council's aware that there's issues.
Okay.
The commission approved contracting with J&R Underground to do underground wire placement in the city. The electrical utility continues to do tree trimming along the Wild Goose Trail. There's plans in the budget to replace trees along there. So it hasn't been determined what type of trees or exactly how that's going to work, but it is in the plans. There will be a special commission meeting in the next few weeks to discuss and possibly approve the last change orders for the wastewater plant upgrade project. In December and January, the wastewater plant had to report some ammonia discharge violations. Some adjustments were made and acceptable levels are being seen now. Verizon is adding more providers to the tower out by the wastewater plant. The commission approved the proposed changes to section 201 that Kay spoke about policy handbook. So this, I guess, will be now forwarded back to joint personnel for review.
Do you know if Mac's going to call me?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm guessing that he probably will. I mean, it has to go through personnel, right? Yeah, to change policies. There will be a sewer plant upgrade meeting on February 20th at 10 a.m. And the mayor suggested and the commission agreed that when the wastewater treatment plant project is done, there should be an open house out there. So we'll look forward to that. And that's all I have.
Free samples at the Any questions for Richard?
Okay.
Seeing none, any old business, new business, approved provincial licenses for 45 days?
How about some old business?
Okay, go ahead.
I was waiting for you to stop for a second.
Oh, all right.
Excuse my voice, but
That's fine.
it ain't gonna last long, so. Concerning the East Center Street thing, I don't think anybody was in any intention to hurt anybody's business.
No.
And as an official statement, I will not respond to him because of his accusations and threats that he's made about getting a lawyer, and he's gonna file a complaint against me for ethics. But I have no gain for living on Center Street, none. And this ordinance had nothing to do with me. You got 40 or 50 houses, whatever's on that street, and they all have the same opinion. You have to do something with that street, and the street's falling apart. And I think that still has to be one of our biggest considerations. Getting to new business, the county had I'm glad she sent this out, Megan did, a community development grant guidelines. I don't know if anybody else saw that. I know I was the only one from the city of Juneau that attended. And the county has $2 million available, which they plan to do every year for grants. And it's not the usual grant process. It's more, let's give them your opinion and what you think and give them some information. It's not going to be as formal. And the point is, I guess, like 3 different times. April 13th would be the first one, and I think it's July 13th is the second awarding of grants, and you have to match the grant. So you can put it out for anything you want, and most of it is for economic development and for housing. It's not for, like cut parks and all that,
Road reconstruction.
it's something which would be, as all those gentlemen out there said, Center Street is a major thoroughfare. And some of the letters from the county and the town of Oak Grove and the Highway Commission are very specific on that. And this might be a really good idea to try for some of that grant money to see what we can get. I don't know how much we got available to match, probably not a lot left, but, if you get, and anybody else who contributes, that would go to it too. So let's say, town of Oak Grove and they all give us $100,000 apiece, that all counts towards the match. And the county. And if the county's so, big on it, if they throw in, let's say $500,000, get the whole damn road done.
What's the process for applying for that?
They actually have a form here, and it's online. Megan, you have copies of it, right? Yeah, I had her make a copy just in case. And the information's here, but she also has it. And it's a project summary. It's all listed all the way through here. And it's a pretty step-by-step thing, and you have people outside of Dodge County who determine the grant.
Okay. Unbiased then?
Yeah, there's one from Sheboygan, somebody from way up north, and then they will meet, and they will probably not even meet per se, but video chat or something, and they will all have copies, and then they will award the grants.
And that would apply for road reconstruction,
Well,
economic development?
Sure, because of Menards.
Because of the Millers, okay.
The Menards and all those people, this is, as it says in there, this is a vital, this is a vital east-west, and in all honesty, it's the major east-west ways up in the county, if you think about it. So,
Is there a date that?
the first awards would be April 13th, which is really cutting it close. I don't know if you can get anything done by then. but July 13th is the second, and then there's I think the third's in October. I'd have to look at my notes, which I don't have with me.
There's some dates that would, you
Yeah,
have to submit it by.
right, yeah.
What's the source of the money?
Your taxpayer dollars. They put $2 million into the budget.
Federal government or?
It's the county.
County.
The county put $2 million into the budget for increased tax revenue and, you know, if you get, you know, more business, keep business, and build housing and stuff like that, that's what this is for.
I'm not saying we shouldn't apply, but if we apply now and don't use it for 2 years, is the money still there? Or is that you need to apply closer to the date
You know,
you're gonna use it?
that was one of the questions asked there by, I can't remember what it was, it wasn't by us, but it was some, and they didn't really answer the question.
I think they would take
I got a
that into
feeling that it was one of
consideration.
those things that they didn't think about.
What,
They
Megan?
probably take that into consideration, like looking at your application, I would assume.
You
Or-
know, they might just say, yeah, we'd like to do this, but why don't we wait till next year when
Yeah.
everything's ready?
But they could divvy the 2 million up amongst 10 different communities.
They could, you know, they could give everybody $10,000.
Yeah.
Or they could give somebody 100,000. I'm pretty sure you look at, after that, the whole stuff came up for Beaver Dam. You know, the AI buildings and all the other stuff, and I'm sure Beaver Dam's gonna be on top of that to get, you know, their chunk out of that too. So, you know, it's something we're gonna have to be aware of, and yeah, I was, if I didn't have so much on my plate right now, I was gonna actually start working on it.
Okay. Any other business or new business tonight? Approved provincial licenses for 45 days, Deidre Houlihan. Is there a motion to approve?
Sydney.
Motion to that effect.
Sure. Make a motion to approve the provisional license for
Deidre.
Houlihan.
Second.
Motion by Foodie, second by Gren. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved regular bartender's license for 2024, expires June 30th, 2025. Deidre Houlihan, Sydney Finkler, and Dana Berner. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Rose, second by Rungy. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. No other business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Foodie,
Second.
second by Grattan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. This meeting is adjourned.